What did I tell you last night here on this channel? I said, you wait and see. Just wait and see. It's going to come out that this crazy loon, this lone wolf, this shooter in Maine, it's going to come out that he suffers from mental illness. He was known to authorities, and I have it right here. This is at WCVB5. Now, the guy's name is Robert Card. He's 40 years old. And the latest is that the cops are trying to raid these 2 or 3 properties they think he lives out in the area, trying to bomb it out. But according to WCVB5, back in December of 2002, this guy was in the Army Reserve. He rose to Sergeant First Class. He's a firearms instructor, a petroleum supply specialist. And over the summer, he spent 2 weeks, a 2-week stint in a mental institution for hearing voices in his head and threatening to shoot up this military base where he works. And nobody saw the shooting coming? Now, I don't know if the media has crisis actors working for them or not, and I don't want to accuse anybody of anything. But some of these stories that are coming out about this are just unreal. Did you see them interview the guy who claimed that he was in the bowling alley? Now, apparently, he shot up a bowling alley in this bar and grill. And that raises another question. So, nobody saw him going from one location to the other? And nobody had a gun who could have stopped him in the bowling alley or at the bar? And were there any Jewish victims involved? Notice how we haven't seen a whole lot of coverage about Israel since this broke last night? Wall-to-wall coverage, especially on CNN. But did you see this guy they interviewed? So he claims he was in the bowling alley when the shooter went in, guns ablazing, and he slid down that bowling lane all the way to the end, and he made it up where the pins were, and he crawled out and escaped. Yeah, right. You would be a moving target at that point. What'd you do? Did you hide behind the concession stand and grease yourself up with Crisco? And made a beeline for the first bowling lane you saw? Slide all the way down to the end? You know how far it is from one end to the other? You just magically crawled up where the pins were and escaped? Give me a break. Now, I'm not saying something didn't happen, but come on now. So President Biden and Chuck Schumer have asked that flags be flown at half-staff. And there were conflicting reports last night about how many people were killed, how many were injured. And according to NBC, there was a stampede, I believe it was at this bar and grill. And they were saying at one point it was up to 60 people injured. But it was the Hollywood Reporter that got it right. They were the closest in numbers. They reported 16 killed, I think 20 or so injured. They adjusted that number today to be 18 killed, 22 injured. And did you see the governor of Maine? Now, Janet Mills, she's a Democrat. But she was giving these pressers, and she was gloating all over herself. And the work that these police officers and these first responders and the government did to swoop in and save the community in Maine. Now, my hat's off to anybody who's a policeman, a firefighter in the medical profession. My dad was a firefighter for 30 years. Anybody who's in the military, so thank you for your service. So we know that 1 female and 6 males were killed at the bowling alley, with 8 dead in the bar and grill, this billiards hall. What else do I have in my notes here? But, oh yeah, I can't forget this. So, Fox News, did you see this? So Fox News is showing these maps of where this guy might be at. And they're making it look like the war in Israel. Did you see that? Yeah, he could be here, and there's a river, and it's snakes, and it's rough terrain, and the cops are over here. Seriously, it looked like they were laying out the map for Israel with this war between Israel and Hamas. So that's the latest. 40-year-old Robert Card still on the loose. The town of Lewiston is on lockdown. They've closed schools over this. So if you enjoyed the video, you know what to do. You can also follow me at Instagram, #JasonComposes, because I write music in my spare time. Or you can find me at X, Culture Confederacy, at Culture Confederacy, at Culture Confed1 on X. This is the Culture Confederacy saying peace out, stay safe, everybody. God bless this thing called the United States. And you know how we do it here. This is where the past crashes with the present. I'll catch you next time, and you all have a great Thursday.